And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this challenge. But it really hit me at my core this morning as I was sitting getting ready, going, $1 million cash, not $1 million in sales, not $1 million in all-time revenue, but $1 million cash for the year. And it hit me. You know those moments when you realize that you've done something and it's like, yeah, I did it, but then maybe it doesn't happen for a couple of days later when you're like, oh my God, I did that. That is actually what happened. And so I have some really, really fresh, potent trainings to bring to you guys today. My content shifted so massively. Yes, so good, Megan says. Excited to make it live. Yeah, Cassie's in Wealth Embodied, which is one of our programs in our headquarters. She's in there. My mind is blown at how much has shifted internally. Hi, everyone. On fire, Chantel says. Clarice says, yesterday I got the feeling I want my life to be nourished. Good. A lot of shifts, Jacqueline. I can't wait for our private today. Day 2 is amazing. So much clarity. So put it in the chat. How are you planning to leverage and use and create community inside of your business? Put it in the chat. I would love to know, how are you planning to create community inside of your business? After our training on Wednesday, where I talked about community being one of the most important things in your business, how do you actually plan to implement this in your business? Because you can have all the information and I can sit here and tell you, build the community, build the community, build the community. But if you don't actually do it, it's not going to work. So how do you actually plan to implement going into your community? Going live weekly, Mallory says. I'm realizing what's not aligned. Facebook mentorship, going live weekly. I went live last night, got so much interaction, started a broadcast channel. Keep putting them inside of the chat because I would love to hear what you guys are doing in order to build community, because it is the most important part. Hosting 2 circles per month. Hey, Amanda. 2 free live masterclasses, Warrior of the Week. Yeah, just making your clients feel special and different. Like there's something different about your community. Like it just can't be matched. Like when they come into your community, and maybe many of you feel this way inside of Freedom Queen, we're not just like, okay, now make a course, sell an offer, go put it on the internet and sign on some clients. It's not like that. It's so much bigger than that. We're waking up the world. We're realizing our wildest dreams. We're untapping potential that we didn't even know existed. And you're here because you're building $1 million movement. Not because you want to build $1 million movement, but you're here because you are building $1 million movement. Put a yes in the chat if you know that for sure. If after these last 4 days, hey, Allie Banks, I've missed you. Put a yes in the chat if you know that for sure. If you're like, yes, I don't just want a service-based business. I don't just want to sell courses on the internet. I don't just want a boring old coaching business. I want to build a movement. Building a movement dominates the world. I said that earlier. Movement makers dominate. And not movement, building a movement isn't for everyone. It's, it's not, that's okay. But in here, we're talking about building movements that really are massive, that are international and take over the world, no matter what you're teaching. Bookkeeping, fertility, business coaching, social media management. So today we're diving into the last part of the 3-part series, which is pioneering the pathway. And I want to get into this. But before we do that, all of you, like many of you, I wouldn't say all of you, but many of you, screenshot it from yesterday, tag me on your Instagram story, and I have the winner that gets the $500 credit today. And when you get this $500 credit, you can go ahead and send me a message on Instagram, and you might want to stay on the training for today because I'm going to be talking about something that's opening up today as well. Are you guys excited? So I'm going to announce this person, and then if you're here, put it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll go send her a message on Instagram. So Kenzie Green Design won the $500 credit. We put all of your names in our wheel of names, spun it this morning. Kenzie won. Congratulations, Kenzie Green Design. Kenzie, are you here with us today? I don't know if she's here. We can all go flood her DMs and be like, Kenzie, you won the award, $500 credit. And I think the team sent her a message too, so hopefully she comes on this morning. Congratulations, Kenzie. Okay. So let's get right into building your $1 million movement and the final step. Now, one of the reasons why I decided to do this challenge is because I felt like over the last 3 years, I've built this business in a way that other people aren't doing it, in a really simplified way. Hi, Val. Hi, Pearl. In a really simple way. And it wasn't through sales calls. It wasn't through cold DMing people. It wasn't even through like some crazy fancy funnel that I had set up that was funneling everyone into something. It was literally through these three components. And today we're going to be diving into pioneering the pathway. Put a yes in the chat if you know you're a pioneer. If you've known it since you were a little girl, probably something in your soul feels different about you. You probably can't follow the rules. And I once heard someone say like, yeah, all entrepreneurs can't follow the rules. No, there's something different about someone that builds a movement versus someone that sells something on the internet. Pioneers, you usually defy all odds. You usually want to make the rules. You're usually super creative. Like you don't really get stuck in a box. When everyone is going one way, you're going the other way. You have new ideas coming to you constantly. And also, you believe that you're the one. And I want you to allow this to be the space where you really commit that you're the chosen one. Like you are the one that's meant to do this. I believe that I'm the one, Lizzie says. Ken says, I feel this so deeply on another level. And pioneering is something that I've had to do over and over and over and over again at every stage of the business. And earlier this year, when I set out to say, I'm going to do $1 million cash this year, there were many times throughout the year where I could have said, I'm not going to pioneer. How many of you want 2024 to be your $1 million cash year? Put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in the chat if you're like, yep, 2024 $1 million cash year. And it does not have to make sense, or your multi-million-dollar cash year if you're already at $1 million years. Yes, 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 yes. And so there were many points in my journey this year where I could have said to myself, let's play small. Let's settle. Let's go back. Let's default to what's easy. But I kept saying to myself that mantra of, you owe it to yourself to be all in. You owe it to yourself to be all in financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, relationship-wise. You owe it to yourself to be all in. You did not get here on this planet. And at this point in the training, I'm really speaking to people who know they're the one. You're not wobbling. You're not like on the fence. I'm really speaking to the person that's like, I know it. I know it in my heart and soul. I want to claim the throne. I want to lead. I want to make an impact. And you're willing to pioneer. And by the way, being willing to pioneer also means the willingness to make mistakes. The willingness to go up the mountain and fall down the mountain in front of everyone else, but then continuing to go on. So if you want to be the leader of a multi-million-dollar or $1 million cash movement that is international, you have to commit to this day moving forward to pioneering the way. Even when it's hard, even when you don't know the way, even when you want to quit, even when you're like, maybe it's not for me, this is when you lean in and you go, you know what? I didn't come this far to get this far and just stay here. You got this far to go eons and eons further. So today I'm going to take you on a journey in the next 45 minutes. Everybody buckle your seatbelt. Like we're about to ride in the Freedom Queen Express. Here we go. I'm going to take you on a journey of the 3 parts of what it looks like for me to pioneer. Before we do that, I want to know how many of you are in the headquarters, and some of you just signed up for the headquarters, because I want to do something really fun during today's training. So at the end of today's training, Jamie's in the headquarters. At the end of today's training, what I'm going to be doing is announcing something, and it's called our headquarters program. It's a group program that's 6 months long. And I'm going to have a bonus, only included, Jamie Johnson's inside, some of you have been signing up behind the scenes with Mo. How many of you have been talking with Mo? She's like, there's so many people. I'm going to be giving you a bonus that when you sign up for today, you're going to be put into an end of the year mini mind for sales, but it's only when you're on today's call. So I was going to wait until the end of the training to share this with you, but I'm just going to tell you about it now so that while we're talking throughout the training, you can sign up. And when you sign up, what I want you to do is go into the chat and be like, I'm in the headquarters. Come in the chat and let us know, because I'm going to, and then we're going to be welcoming you to the end of the year mini mind. That sound cool? I'm going to put the link in the chat. For those of you that are already in the headquarters, you're going to get access to it. I'm going to put the link in, and then at the end, I'm going to go through everything that's included inside of the headquarters. Ken, I see you're saying I need to be. And I'm going to talk about it at the end with everything that's included inside of it. Okay. Put a yes in the chat if you're ready to get started. Put a yes in the chat if you understand the assignment, if you're ready to go. Pioneering the pathway is not about you being perfect. And many times I hear clients say to me, I need to be, I understand the assignment. I need to be perfect. I need to be the best leader. I need to be the person that, like if let's say you're teaching moms how to make money, the person that's the best at teaching moms how to make money. You don't have to be perfect, but you do need to pioneer. And when you pioneer, what you do is you give words to experiences that your customers are having. So what does that mean? Your customers are hiring you not because you're the perfect human being on this planet, but because you're willing to put yourself out there, fall on your face, go through challenges, pick yourself up, gain the wisdom, extract the wisdom, and sell the wisdom. That's actually what you're doing when you're building a movement. So then your job is to create the most extraordinary adventure and life for yourself, fall on your face, gain the wisdom, spread the wisdom. I said to my mastermind clients this weekend when we were in Costa Rica, and I said, you know what's so amazing? I've done $1 million in the last less than 11 months and cash, and I can help you do it faster. I can help you do it faster because I was willing to pioneer and put myself out there and fall on my face and learn the mistakes of what to do and what not to do. And I can see the blind spots and I can see the gaps and I can say, oh, I wouldn't go down that road, or this is what I experienced. And we can use that data to increase our client results. So I want to just be really, really real with you guys right now. If you are someone who doesn't get amazing client results, or just be really honest with yourself. If you feel like, man, I feel like my clients could be getting 10x better results inside of my programs, I would argue and say to you, you're probably not pioneering. One of the best ways that your clients and your customers learn from you is by watching you pioneer. They learn through observing you. When you're leading the movement, and we talked about leading the community, what are they doing? They're watching you. How many of you have learned so much just through observing me? I would actually say you've probably learned more through observing me, how I sell, how I show up, than anything else. Hey, Jennifer Blake, totally. And so if that's the case, if you want to increase not only your client results, but you also want to increase your retention rate in your programs, pioneer. One of the only reasons why one of the only reasons why I see people not stay in different programs, or why I haven't stayed in different programs, is because of pioneering. People want to be with people that are going somewhere. And if you're always going somewhere and you always have this like massive vision for your life, which obviously we talked about yesterday, discernment of whatever that means for you, people are going to stay. So I see Kenzie Green just came on. We're going to be breaking down these 3 areas throughout today's training. And if you guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat again, want to sign up for the headquarters throughout today's training, go to that link, sign up. After you sign up, send a message inside of the chat, be like, I'm in the headquarters. And then at the end, I'll go through everything that's included in it. So pioneering to me looks like these 3 different things. And this is what I focused on over the last year. The first one is your voice online. Second one is creativity through program design, because you're probably blocking the amount of money that you're making because you think you have to make programs like everybody else. And then 3, setting your own soul on fire. So let's get right into the first one. Your voice online. The only thing that I would be focusing on if you want to make more money inside of your business and grow a massive movement of people that it feels like you're in something like Freedom Queen, you need to focus on your voice on the internet. The more you hold yourself back from saying what you really want to say, the more you hold yourself back from serving who you want to serve. Where in your content and in your messaging are you putting yourself in a box? Where in when you're writing out your content, are you making it vanilla? Are you making it boring? This right here, this piece, I want you to really sit with the weight of it, because this piece really, really matters. This is my big aha this week, yes. Inside of your content, if you are saying things that everyone else is saying, you're not going to grow a big business. Why? Because people want to be with pioneers. People that are making a lot of money are pioneers, and pioneers don't copy other people. Pioneers pioneer the path. And so one of the things that has always made Freedom Queen stand out is that everything we do in Freedom Queen, from our Wealth Embodied programs, to our Move and Manifest Embodiment certification, to our Icon program, Celeb Status, Down in the DMs, our $1 Million Movements Formula, The Crown, Freedom Queen, all of these are not copied from someone else. These are deeply created within. Same comes to content. Rather than outsourcing your power and going and copying other people's content, what you actually should be doing is going within and going, what does Brittany want to say? What does Cassie want to say? What do you actually want to be saying that will help you grow your business? I'm pulling up the chat here. I can see different people's names: Allison, Alexa, Allie, Alyssa. And if you can, put your cameras on so I can see your beautiful faces. The more that you use your voice and say what you want to say, the more people are going to buy from you. Now, what I want you to do is commit to showing up every single day on social media from this day moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean a feed post every single day, but in some way, you're committed to showing up. We talked about this yesterday or Wednesday about building a community. Leading a community requires you to show up. And if you're not showing up, you don't deserve to be paid, because it's like a relationship. People will trust you the more consistent you are. And if people haven't been buying from you, then that's not their problem, it's yours. And the way to continue to show up for your community is by showing up for them, literally showing up every day on social media and proposing a new idea. And many of you, I hear you and you're like, I'm losing creativity. I'm losing ideas. I don't know what to say. But that's because you've put yourself in a box. You've stopped pioneering and you started playing by someone else's rules. You started looking out externally for, well, what is Sally Sue doing? And how, if she's making content that way, should I make content that way? No. So when I first started my business, I was trying to people please in my content. And what I ended up doing as a result of that, I signed on a lot of get rich quick people, it was not their fault, it was my fault. And if you have clients that you're working with that, you're like, oh man, this isn't the vibe, it's not the actual person I want to be working with, that's not their fault, that's your fault. Because you are the magnet. You are the pioneer, they're looking to you. And what I realized was that in that time period, I had to shift my voice. I had to change what I was saying. I had to actually speak the way that I wanted to speak. And this is when, how many of you guys know this mantra? Finish the mantra for me. Action takers are, put it in the chat. Action takers are money makers, money makers, money makers, money makers, money makers, money makers, money makers. That's when that mantra was birthed inside of the movement. And I made it be a part of it because I was no longer available for, Meg. I was no longer available for people that came into Freedom Queen and said they wanted to build $1 million movement, but couldn't post on social media. Those two things just don't go together. That said they deeply cared about their clients, but complained about having to answer DMs. Those two things don't go together. That said they wanted to do XYZ, but couldn't show up and follow through. Those two things don't go together. But the more that I started really actually owning this, the more I started working with people. And that's why you saw my first year in business was 100,000. The next year was our first $100,000 month. This year was $1 million year. Next year we'll be doing $1 million months. We're always 10xing it. And even if you've already done something really amazing in business, like you've hit 7 figures, that's awesome. That next level, I know, is through this work. What do you have to say that's different from everyone else? So I want you to put it in the chat. What do you actually want to say online? Yeah, Nikki's like, yeah, one day, like, we're going to be doing $1 million month program. Watch me. You'll be here. But put it in the chat. What do you want to be saying online that you're not saying? Maybe what are pieces that you've been holding yourself back from talking about online? I want to talk about money more, Mal says. Maybe you want to talk about, for me, I know that the different parts of my journey, I was afraid to use the word God a lot in my content. Now I'm like, God, God, God. I'm a God girl, God, God, God. And while that sounds very small, it's not small, because those little things are very leaky. What are the things that you want to be talking about inside of your content that you've been holding yourself back from saying? Because maybe you're afraid you're going to offend people. I was literally afraid of telling people that, working a business requires work, because I was afraid people weren't going to like me if I told them that it requires work. And I said, okay, but I love work because this is the work. And I know there are other women. And if I hadn't have owned that, Freedom Queen would not be here. All 77 of you and me, like, we would not be here today. Matt says, I'm ready to shift from talking to people who are people who are already empowered and ready to do the work. No more convincing. I want to talk about pleasure, sensuality, embodiment, all the spicy stuff. Every single time you filter yourself, you're actually denying your growth, your quantum growth, but also the dream clients that you actually want to be working with. And you will offend people and you will isolate people, but the right people that are meant to work with you will come your way, and it will 10x your business and your movement. So it's not just about, I want to break this down using your voice online. It's not just about what you want to say, but also how only you can say it. This is a tricky one. So let's say you wanted to talk about in the chat, let's say you put in the chat, you want to talk about moms making money. Okay, that's great, but that's also very, very vague. If you made a post that was like, how moms can make more money, it would probably do okay. But if you made a post, and I gave this example, I believe it was on our first day of the challenge, I said something like, I don't know about you, but I believe that moms are 10 times better at making money than any other person on this planet, because if we can push a baby out of ourselves, you better believe we can become multimillionaires. Do you feel the difference in the weight of these two pieces of content? So I want to put this into practice with you today and actually get you into implementation. So these two examples on the screen here, how to build a 6-figure coaching business, womp, 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 so boring. Anyone can say that. Tell me something differently, stand out, pioneer, please, because this is so boring, versus how I built a buck wild $1 million movement that makes my clients want to travel, makes my clients world traveling millionaires. Oh, that's different. I said it in the way that's unique to me. Why? I love saying buck wild. I love saying movements. I love traveling the world. And I love talking about making a lot of money. I could have said how to build a 7-figure business. Womp. Boring. So I want you to put it in the chat, and we're going to play a little game here. We're going to workshop a little bit and give you a little bit of a demo. Put a boring post in the chat that you have an idea of. Put a boring post in the chat. Just the hook. What do you want to say in one of your pieces of content? Okay. Helping single women find love. Put the actual hook, not your I help statement, the actual hook. Okay. Stella says, how I lost weight without dieting. Let's just workshop Stella's for a second, and we're going to do this together. I'm going to show you the power of masterminding and group think together. So Stella's is how I lost weight without dieting. So another way that you could say that is how I fit into my favorite jeans, how I fit into my favorite high-waisted jeans without having to I'm trying to think about who I want to go target here, without trying to how I fit into my favorite high-waisted jeans without avoiding wine. I'm just trying to think about like your target client without restricting myself from wine, pizza, and trying to do the keto diet every other month of the year. That's going to land so much more for her ideal client if her ideal client wants to wear high-waisted jeans, loves her wine and pizza, and tries a keto diet every other month of the year. Do you see the difference between the two? One is super vague. One applies to anyone. The other one applies to her specific buyer. Because you can have content that's simple and goes viral, but that's not always the content that will sell. The content that will sell is specific to the person that you want to be working with. I'm coming into the chat. Oh, Cassie has a good one in the chat. Without having to lay on the bed to get the zipper up. That's really good. Yes, Stella reworked it. How I fit in my size 4s, eating my Reese's, and no longer kill myself in the gym after 2 kids and dropped 35 pounds. Do you see the difference in those 2 pieces of content? The latter one is going to make her so much more money than if she just said how to lose weight. Anybody can say that. Okay, let's do Mads. Mads says, how I got my life paid for by giving up the struggle and letting it flow. That post is not going to do well. It won't do well. I'll tell you right now, because it's so vague. And I hope everyone is like really watching this content session right here, because this is going to make a huge difference. When this clicks for you, you'll understand it. How I got my life paid for by giving. So first we want to say, well, how did you get your life paid for? What did you get paid for? Who paid for something? What was paid for? How I got my dream destination to the Maldives by letting go of toxic relationships. Well, that will be interesting. How did you do that? You want to give specific things, because if you just say Mads and anyone else, if you just say struggle and letting it flow, people are not going to know what that means. But if you give them a specific struggle, like toxic relationships or raging anxiety, then that's going to land for them. Do you ever recommend a mixture of both of these styles of content? So in general, I'm going to give you a little secret right here. This is something that I talk about inside of my content programs in the headquarters. Coming up next year, we're doing actually in January. Our topic is content to cash, where we're going to be doing content like this. In general, you know how people go viral on Reels and that gets them a lot of reach and great for lead generation? In general, your reel content, you want to keep it more generalized, a simple hook, and your carousel post for sales, you want to go into more depth and specificity. Okay, Jamie has a great one in the chat. How I find the man that gives me forehead kisses and cuddles every AM without wasting hours every day online, randomly swiping on that dating apps. I would have tweaked the wording of that a little bit, but that's so specific. Forehead kisses and cuddles in the AM without wasting hours swiping on the dating app. So whenever you make a piece of content from this point moving forward, I want you to ask yourself, How can I make this more unique to me, more to Alyssa, more to Amanda, more to Ozma? Also, Ozma, welcome to the headquarters. More to Ashley. How can you make it more specific to your actual voice versus trying to be like everyone else? The next piece that I want to go into is creativity through program design. How many of you are still launching programs that are like, it's going to be like you're going to get one-to-one coaching with me and weekly calls, and you're going to get Voxer and all of these things. And that's the only program that I get to drop every single quarter of every single month. And you are blocking yourself of creativity. Or maybe you spent months working on some course that's now not selling in the back end. And then you're blocking yourself from all these other sales coming in because you're like, I have to sell this course. I spent months creating it and no one's buying it. And that's the thing that I have to buy. That's the thing that I have to sell. One of the things that has majorly helped me be able to make money and make new sales every single day is because I don't block my creativity. So when I get an idea for a program, I will drop it immediately and start selling it. When I get an idea for a program, I do not block myself from wanting to sell it. So a great example of this, in October, I just got back from this amazing event and I came into my mastermind client group and I said, I want to do a retreat in Costa Rica. Do you guys want to come? I did not delay. I did not overthink it. I did not look for proof from other people for them to tell me whether or not I could do this. I did not Voxer my mentor and say, should I do this? And I've never done that. Even when I first started, I make the rules. You make the rules. You pioneer the way. You get an idea for something, great, go and launch it. And then do the work to make sure that everyone buys. A piece of pioneering is being a woman of your word. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. And the more that you actually, and we talked about this on Monday, and the retreat was amazing, Jennifer says, the more that you are a woman of your word and you do what you say you're going to do, the more people will trust you and buy from you. So after I hosted my first retreat ever in Costa Rica in 2021, right after that retreat, I said, next year, I'm going to host a retreat in a castle. Did we do that? Yes. When I said this year's going to be my $1 million year, did we do that? Yes. The easiest way to build a $1 million movement is to be a woman of your word. And really to trust yourself. A piece of pioneering is actually trusting yourself. When you say you're going to do something, you actually follow through and do it. Can I be really honest with you guys? Put a yes in the chat if I can just do real talk conversations with Bridge this morning. Okay, yes, please, yes. You're ready for this. I see a lot of I see a lot of people say things like, well, it didn't sell out. Well, people didn't buy. It's like, how? If you actually wanted something, you would find a way to make it happen. If you were 100% embodying the vision, leading your community, pioneering the pathway for yourself and for everyone else that's coming with you, you would sell the event out. You would sell the program out. You would find a way to get people there. And this is the missing piece and why I left it best for last to talk with you about today, because the people that have the $1 million businesses, what they do is they are a woman of their word and they follow through on what they say they're going to do. They don't have excuses as to why their program didn't sell out. They don't blame it on the algorithm. They don't blame it on their mentor. They don't blame it on the stars, the economy, a recession. They don't blame it on anything. They say, you know what? I said I was going to do something and I'm going to do it. And the more that you back yourself by you, the more people will trust you. And you know what's even better than that? The more you'll trust yourself. So no matter what investment you make, you trust yourself. This is how I get an ROI on every investment. No matter where, what program you launch, you trust yourself to sell it out. Oh, wow, we have 80 people here. Oh my God, it's like a party. No matter what happens, you're going to follow through on what you say you're going to do. So somebody said to me, like, I feel like you always declare something and then you just do that. I said, yes, because that is my default. I am so convicted in my word to myself. And by the way, that is the only thing that should really, really matter when you're building a movement and you're leading thousands of women around the world. You keep to your word. Where in your life are you not keeping your word? Are you saying, I'm going to post on social media every day, and then you get one troll or one hater, and then you're like, I'm out? You get one little test to make you stronger, and you're like, I'm done. Where are you leaky in your word to yourself when you say, I'm going to start working out, and then you don't? I'm going to invest in that program. Why are you waiting to invest in that program? You said you were going to do it this year. Where are you leaky you've been wanting to launch your retreat, and you're like, I'm just going to put it off. I'm going to put it off. I'm going to put it off. I'm going to put it off. And you never actually end up doing it. This is actually the most important piece of all 3 days of this course. It's not, for me, it's not an option. It's not an option to not follow through on my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And for many of you, this is where the gap is. And I actually will argue, and I see Stella put this in the chat about being unaligned. One of the things is, are you using unalignment to give yourself a backdoor? Well, the program didn't sell out because I was unaligned. I didn't feel great. Are you using it as a backdoor? Because I'll tell you right now, when I'm launching, there are many times where I'm unaligned. When I'm working out, there are many times when I'm unaligned in the gym, but I'm still in the gym. There are many times in my relationship where we're unaligned, but I still deeply love my relationship. Being unaligned and then being unaligned with something and then kind of saying like, I'm not going to do that thing because I'm unaligned is different than I need to pivot and make a different shift and trust myself. So if you are going to make a new, a new shift inside of your strategy, inside of your business, what you have to do is pioneer. Because if you shift and pioneer, and then all of a sudden you're like, maybe I should go back to what I was doing. Well, now you're just in a wobble. So in any season where I've shifted the strategy, I've gone all in 100%. Julia, I have to say, this is the best masterclass in chat I've ever saw. 5 years in online business in Germany. This is so much better than everything I saw before. Thank you all for this. So special. By the way, I learned a lot more in this program than anything else. We're having a real conversation right now. And so when you're pioneering through creating programs, I want you to be someone moving forward and just commit this to yourself. Like, you can even just say it to yourself, like, I am someone who sells out programs. I am someone who says, when I'm going to launch something, I do it. No excuses, no backdoor, no unalignment, self-sabotaging. I am going to do it. My success is my default. I sell out programs all of the time. I am a woman of my word. And over time, what will happen is that will become your default. There are no backdoors. There's no excuses as to why you can't do it. The only choice is for success to be your default. And I'm telling you right now, and I talked about this in Wealth Embodied, what will start to happen is, as you continue to rise, you will be tested. I'm tested all of the time. Whether it's through people, situations, events, I'm tested all of the time. Adversity is your sign to continue on through the pioneering process. Adversity is the sign that you must go on. So going back to creativity through program design, I want you to start coming up with different programs that you've never seen done before. What programs have you been wanting to drop that you've never seen done before? We just dropped a $50,000 program where you get 3 weeks in Costa Rica with me. It's a boot camp. I've dreamt of doing this program. I did it. We launched the program. I did a travel business class radio last year where everyone got put into a Voxer group chat and a broadcast channel, and I sent messages to everyone saying, hey, I'm on the plane. I sold a program where people got to hear the behind the scenes of me traveling the world. That was it. And people loved it. And people were like, that was my favorite program that you've ever done. Imagine if I felt, oh, that's not good. Who would want to travel the world with me? I got an idea. I followed the intuition. I dropped it. I made the Stripe link. Boom. Everyone signed up. Some of you were in that. I think Pearl was in that program. A couple of you were inside of that. Where are you blocking programs that you actually want to be dropping? Something that teaches you to be a celebrity, do that. And then launch in a way that's unique to you. You don't have to, and I encourage you to do something different. Launch in a way that's actually for you. So when I launched our F It Up Mastermind, I launched it with a choreographed dance. My welcome post for it, like to announce that I was launching this mastermind, was a dance that I had spent like hours on choreographing in my gym in my house. And then I was like, do you want to F it up? Join the F It Up Mastermind. That was my launch. That was a sold out launch, by the way. That was, we ended at launch at like 90 something thousand dollars. Like, why are you just thinking that it has to be like a masterclass? And those are great. I do masterclasses all the time. I'm doing the challenge right now. But why are you thinking that it just has to be one way or another? That it just has to be a masterclass and done this way? Where are you blocking your creativity? You know, I always think about it like this. Like, you are a literal, I say, child of God, and you are filled with infinite possibilities. You are filled with so much intelligence, imagination, and creativity. And inside of your life and in your business, you are blocking yourself. I want you to put it in the chat. What is one way that if you could launch a program in any manner, how would you launch it? Would you do like a talk show? Would you send out a piece of artwork to your clients? Would you have like a live stream at 2 in the morning where everyone comes to watch you sell from your bed? Would you tell an elaborate story on your Instagram feed? I saw Lizzie put this in the chat. You're such a pattern interrupter, a disruptor in the industry. All you have to do is start being different. And I was talking with some friends and they were like, yeah, I see a lot of people copying things of Freedom Queen. Like, we actually just trademarked the name because people were trying to take the name, like different crown things, or they'll try and take the mantras or say or copy our content or our programs and things like that. And I said, you know what, you know, that's fine. Like, people will do those things. And I have deep compassion for them because everybody goes through that along their journey. But the actual thing that I want more people to know is that you have to pioneer. You have to pioneer. And when you try to copy other people, when you try to actually copy their content, their offers, their programs, how they say it, what they're saying, all you're doing is saying, I don't know who I am. And that's okay. And I encourage you to continue to show up anyways and continue to move. But if you actually want to build $1 million movement, you have to pioneer. At some point in time, when you're busting through that 100K mark and you want to go bigger, you're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to get out of the box. You're going to have to stand out from everybody else. And you will be criticized for it. I've been criticized many times for standing out, but at the same time, if your voice is being said in other rooms, people are starting to know who you are and you're starting to pioneer, and they might not like you in the beginning, but they'll come around as you continue to pioneer and show up. The next thing is that I wanted to talk about in this category here is opening up more ways for people to work with you. So let's say you just spent eons and forever building a course that nobody's buying. Okay, open up more pathways for people to work with you. So when someone comes into your DMs, and I hear people talk about this a lot, they're like, well, they didn't buy my 3-month program. I'm like, well, did you sell something else? Were they even a good fit for your 3-month program? Did you sell them down to something? Did you upsell them to something? Did you create a new offer for them? You know, when you go to Starbucks, you don't go to Starbucks and they're like, oh, but we only have cappuccinos today. They're like, we got the cappuccino, pumpkin spice, Rice Krispie treat. By the way, do you want a cup? Do you want a cake pop? Do you want to make a variation of your drink? So when you're in the actual selling process, how can you open up more channels? And just by doing this, the floodgates. I've been working on this a lot with some of my mastermind clients. Like Alex just had her first $50,000 cash month. Courtney had a $100,000 sales month. Like Maria had her first 6-figure year. I'm just thinking of people. Linda just had a 15K day. Are you opening up more channels for people to work with you? And when you're in the actual selling process, can you be more creative? Okay, well, they said no to that offer, but let me give a different offer. And then on your Instagram stories, open up more channels. And when I drop an offer, I don't always know if people are going to buy right away, unless I'm super committed to it, then people will buy and I'll keep showing up to sell it out. But I open up more channels so that I teach myself that the business is always open. Are you operating as a Starbucks with one cappuccino and that's all you have for sale? Or can you open up more channels for people to work with you based on your own capacity? And then the last piece here is setting your own soul on fire. The best way to show why you're the one people should work with is by setting your own soul on fire. And real talk, very just being so honest with you, the reason why people aren't buying from you is because they don't think that you're a pioneer. They don't think you're a pioneer. Which I loved when I started turning up the dial in pioneership, because I didn't realize, oh my gosh, there are so many ways that I can pioneer and trailblaze even more. Get on the pioneer ship. This needs to be a podcast. We're leaving. Everybody on the pioneer ship. Here we go. We're taking off. Lift off. People don't want to work with just another business coach. They don't want to work with another social media manager, another relationship coach, another hormone coach, another fitness coach, another dance coach. They want to work with someone who is daring to put themselves out there, say it the way they want to say it, be bold, be courageous, be different. Someone said to me a couple months ago, they said, I'm not at a place yet where I can use my voice. So what they were basically saying, and maybe this is you, put a yes in the chat and be honest. They were basically saying, I'm not at a place where I can use my voice because I have to earn trust and authority with my audience first before I can start using my voice. And I said, you got it all wrong. You will earn trust and authority by using your voice. You will grow and hit that milestone, whatever that metric is, by using your voice. Are you guys picking what I'm putting down here? Are you getting this? So if you're waiting to be at 10K months or 50K months or 100K months to be the person that you want to be, you will never get to that milestone. You'll never build the $1 million business because you're always trying to wait until you're in Napoleon Hill's, the waiting zone. You're always in the waiting zone rather than saying, you know what, I'm going to be her now. What would she say now? How would she launch a program now if she had no backdoors, no self-sabotage, no excuses as to why she can't follow through on her goals? And just were her now, you would hit that milestone. And the minute, this is legit one of my favorite trainings. I'm so happy. And the minute you start using your voice, you start pioneering, you will be tested. You will be tested. It's the same thing when you're working out. It's the same thing when you're a kid and you're learning how to walk. You will fall down. But that's where the wisdom is gained. Knowledge and wisdom are not the same thing. Knowledge, you can go and learn these skill sets and you can study all of the things, but what people are actually hiring from you, and the reason why they're hiring you, is for your wisdom. And the only way to actually gain the wisdom is through deciding to move before you're even ready. Wisdom is what you're selling, not knowledge. Wisdom is why people buy from me. They're like, I've seen you grow this business. No matter what, defying all odds, despite everything that you've experienced, you keep going. I want to work with her. Put a yes in the chat if you're getting this. Wisdom also will require you to face adversity, will require you to show up on a different level. Wisdom will also require you to from this day moving forward, declare that you're the one. I want you to put it in the chat. I am the one. And you're going to go and you're not going to wait for proof that it's possible. You're going to be the proof. You're going to be the proof that it's possible for you. You don't need other people to show you that it's possible. You can be the proof. And when you are the one, you're the one that shows up. You're the one that gets in the rooms. You're the one that climbs the mountain. You're the one that falls on her face. You're the one that figures it out. You're the one that, I'm the freaking one. Hey, Allison, you are the one. And so what I want to do now is I want to go into something very special that I'm opening up. Put a yes in the chat if you want to hear about something that we're doing to make you guys be the one. Put a yes in the chat if you guys want to hear about it. I don't have to talk about it. We can end the call and I can be like, all right, guys, see you now. You don't need to hear about it. I've given you the information, but you can go and try and figure it out on your own. Yes, Abby, okay. Earlier this year, I decided to drop a program called The Headquarters. And in the last year, I've really come home, chills, Lizzie says, to the headquarters being not just a space where you come and you learn the strategy, because that is something that we do inside of it. Not just a space where you learn product suite and you learn sales, but really a space for you to come home to the fact that you are the one. And I get emotional thinking about this because we have our membership, we have our mastermind, and then there's the headquarters, the home space. The more that you come back to who you're actually meant to be, the more that you realize that you actually are the one. And then you have potent trainings on strategy. You know how to do clear messaging and you get customized coaching from me. You get audits on your content from me on some of our calls. And you also feel like you're the one and you claim your throne and you're like, 2024 is my year for me to actually go buck wild crazy, for me to be a woman of my word, for me to get my voice out there on the internet, for me to show up every single week and lead your community, for you to embody the vision, and not just the vision of having your $1 million movement next year in cash, but also to have an incredible life, an extraordinary life where you're able to donate money that you want to donate, get the gifts that you want to get for Christmas for your family. You're able to, Robbie and I just closed on a house. All of these things are what I'm going to be teaching in over the next year inside of the headquarters. So are you ready for the next step? Are you ready to hear all about that's inside of the headquarters? How many of you are in the headquarters, by the way? Put a yes in the chat if you're in the headquarters or you're inside of our mastermind, because it's included in it. Yes, Megan says she's ready. So in the headquarters, it's a 6-month program. The reason why it's not 3 months, the reason why it's not 1 month is because I know that people who are committed to long-term growth are the ones that actually make money inside of their business. You're not here for a quick fix. You're not here because you want to just sign on clients and then ghost them. You're here, like you said on our first call, forever. You're here for your people. You're here to serve your community. So the 6-month program, it's over the course of 6 months so that you can actually grow something that's beyond just, in 2024. And I put it here, it's for the woman that is ready to claim her throne, both energetically and strategically. I am a no fluff mentor. So inside of the trainings, I will actually share with you, hey, tweak your messaging. Hey, say it in this way. Hey, I wouldn't make that type of content and here's why. So I'm actually going to be teaching you strategically, messaging wise, but also energetically helping you rise. I think a lot about Remy inside of the headquarters. Remy is someone who joined the headquarters last month or at the end of October. And Remy, yeah, she's amazing. Remy has completely stepped into being the one and now is starting to blow up inside of her business because she's someone who has the strategy, but also plugs in for the energetic support. So it's over the course of 6 months. Inside of the headquarters, you get 2 60-minute calls per month. Inside of these 2 60-minute calls, I'm actually teaching you. So you're going to be coming on the calls and I'll be teaching you strategies about content, about messaging, about sales, but also you're going to get customized support. So hot seat coaching. Put a yes in the chat if you know what hot seat coaching is. Put a yes in the chat if you're familiar with this, because not everybody knows what hot seat coaching is. Hot seat coaching is where you come up on Zoom and you bring, hey, Bridge, I have this question with my content. Hey, Bridge, I have this question about my product suite. Hey, can we look at my Instagram? Hey, I have this question about my sales page. Hey, these people aren't buying and here's why. You actually get customized support. And the reason why this is so important is because if you're continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again, right? In a regular course that's passive, you can consume the course, you can implement it. But if you're not actually getting someone going, hey, that's wrong. Just like we did today in the chat, I could tell you that post isn't going to work. You're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, which is the definition of insanity. It means that you're not actually changing anything. I'm actually going to be able to help you call out the gap. So you get 2 coaching sessions per month on Zoom. We meet every other week. And then each month we have a new focus inside of the headquarters. So inside of the headquarters in November, I talked about $10,000 months into $10,000 weeks into $10,000 days. Inside of December, I talked about projecting sales for 2024 and how to actually sell out programs before you even get into the new year. And in January, the entire month, we're going to be focused on content and messaging to cash. How many of you know that one of the things that you 100% need to work on is your content on Instagram or your content on TikTok? You know that it actually is your messaging that's doing the thing. So every month we're going to have a new topic. And in January, we're kicking it off with content to cash. So I put the total value here over $10,000. It's not $10,000, but it's a lot of value. And then you get a community-led mastermind chat. The women inside of this program are insane. Some of them are already doing $10,000 months, $15,000 months, $30,000 months. You get a community-led chat, meaning every single week, you get to plug into other people. You get to plug into what other people are doing, ask them questions, network with them, mastermind with them. Why is this so important? Have you felt the energy of this week? Have you felt like, oh my God, I saw you guys put in the chat, this Freedom Queen Challenge was one of the most extraordinary things that I've ever been to this week. Imagine being able to plug into this every single day and week inside of your business. And this to me is a piece of embodying the vision. I'm someone who's all in. I'm in a mastermind that's a year long and I have 2 private mentors. I am all in and plugged in and connected. I don't have any back doors. I don't have any oh, I can't do this. I can't show up for me. I'm 100% plugged in. So you'll be able to plug in every single week inside of the community-led mastermind chat. So to recap, $17,000 in value, 2 calls per month on Zoom, a new focus each month, plus the community-led chat. And then access to the entire Freedom Queen Netflix. So how many of you are in Wealth and Body? Put a yes in the chat if you're inside of Wealth and Body. Some of you are inside of that program. Wealth Embodied, Icon, down in the DMs, all of these programs are included inside of our Freedom Queen Netflix, and any other program that I drop during the next 6 months of you being inside of the headquarters, you're going to get access to it. So you get the headquarters plus the entire Freedom Queen Netflix. And as a bonus, you also get the Make Money membership included for the 6 months that you're in it. The Make Money membership is $100 a month. So that's already included inside of the headquarters pricing. And then today, what we're doing is we're doing a time sensitive bonus. After this call today, when you sign up, we're going to give you an hour deadline. So when you sign up between now and the next hour, my team and I are going to be monitoring the sales coming through. You're going to be invited to an Ignite Your Sales mini mind that's going to start next week inside of Voxer. And what I'm going to be doing inside of this mini mind is coaching you through how to actually ignite your sales for the rest of the year. Somebody said to me recently, like, Bridge, you know, December is going to be a low month for me. And I said, but it doesn't have to be. Put an amen in the chat if you agree with me. It doesn't have to be that way. December has historically always been my highest cash month in business. Amen, amen, amen. December has always been my highest month in business. And inside the Ignite Your Sales mini mind, I'm going to be teaching you how. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link inside of the chat to sign up for the headquarters. After you guys sign up, what I want you to do is I'm going to hang out on the Zoom for a little bit before I have to go. And I'm going to answer some questions, anything that's coming up. Inside of the headquarters, you also get our custom Freedom Queen gold necklace. All of the headquarters clients get these mailed out to them in their house. And so to recap, headquarters is $499 a month. It's $499 a month for 6 months. And on Sunday, we're actually raising the price to $888 a month. So when you sign up for the headquarters before Sunday, you get it for $499 a month. If you pay per month, it's $499. If you want to pay in full, you save, it's $2497. And to recap, here's everything that you get. 2 live weekly coaching calls where I'm teaching you both strategy and energetics. You get a new focus each month. So you get a backlog of everything that I've already taught, plus everything that's coming up. And in January, we're kicking off with Content to Cash. You get a community-led mastermind chat where you get to network and talk with everyone else. They plugged into the system every single week. You get the entire Freedom Queen Netflix. You get access to the Make Money membership, which is just a whole program on its own included. And then when you buy within the next hour, you're going to get the Ignite Your Sales mini mind in Voxer that starts next week, where I'm going to be walking you through how I actually sell. So what's going to happen next is you have an hour to sign up for the headquarters. That hour will include this mini mind. After that, the mini mind is gone. No one else can join the mini mind that's happening next week. And if you want to end December feeling like, oh my God, my life is on fire and going into 2024 with confidence and certainty, I would be a part of this mini mind. I was talking to people in Wealth Embodied yesterday, and someone was saying, we were talking about how a lot of people at the beginning of this year, they were like, my sales are down. I'm not making as much money. But we kicked off January with $100,000 sales month, and we had 90 something, I think it was $98,000 in cash coming in. But that's because of the work that I did in December. That's because of how I didn't just like let the rest of the year go by and say, okay, well, I don't need to show up anymore for my business. I don't need to do anything. I actually ignited my sales at the end of this year. So for the next hour, you get access to the Ignite Your Sales mini mind. And then after that, it goes away. And then you'll have today, Saturday, and then Sunday, the price will go up to $888. Are we really clear on this? So the next hour, you get the mini mind. And then after that, the price is going to go up to $888 per month. After you sign up, here's what I want you to do. Send a message to my team and say, I'm in. I'm ready to go. I'm inside of the headquarters because we're going to do a big, big welcome celebration today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. Okay. How are you guys feeling at the end of the 3-day course? I said this was a challenge, but what it actually was a course. And what I want you to do this week is I want you to go back and binge these programs again. I want you to go back and study them again, plug into them, because soon what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this 3-day program and actually turning it into a paid course and taking it out. It will be included in the headquarters. So if you want lifetime access to this, it will be plugged inside the headquarters forever. We will be taking these 3 trainings down by the end of this year. So make sure that you binge these trainings, that you go back and listen to them. The way that I got to $1 million cash this year is through this. Being someone who shows up and gets in the room. Being someone every single day who is a woman of her word. Being someone who people want to pay to work with. Being someone who shows up with integrity online. Being someone who follows through on what she says she's going to do. And 2, leading, doing events like this. And a piece of leading too, and I talked about this in Wealth Embodied, is transaction. Transaction equals transformation. You can lead your community all you want, but if you're not actually selling to them, like I do in this training, and I sell my headquarters and ask you all to sign up for the headquarters and open that door for you to step forward through, then we're not actually leading people to a real transformation. The reality is that most people who come to free things like this and don't actually implement or do anything with it, the data shows that people that pay attention. The people that do free things usually don't implement. Why? Because money is energetic. Money is not something that is just like, it's not something that like, the world just made up. Money is a transfer of value. It's a transfer of energy. And so when you say to yourself, I'm all in, I'm doing this, what that does is it opens up new pathways for you. And so a piece of leading your community and what we've done over the last year isn't just showing up for the challenge, isn't just showing up on a weekly live, but continuing to ask myself and my clients, will you take the next step? You say you're all in, but are you actually all in? You say you want to build the $1 million movement, but will you build the movement? Will you make it? Will you make your external reality be it so that you have no choice but to actually move? When I sat inside of the Funnel Hacking Live, I told you guys this story, is a $50,000 offer that I invested in this summer. And that's not even the highest offer that I've ever invested in. $50,000. I was sitting there and I said, I have 2 choices. I can either stay where I am and keep trucking along and keep doing what I'm doing, or I can do something extraordinary and pioneer and make my external reality be a reflection of who I want to be internally. I invested $50,000. I paid in full $50,000. And then since then, we've already done $250,000 cash. I didn't even just 2x my investment. And then the third thing here is pioneering the path. As soon as I got back from the event, I dropped a retreat. As soon as we hit 1 million, I was like, okay, we're going to do a challenge. I never do challenges anymore. I haven't done this in a long time. Pioneering my own self. I declared next year is going to be 10 million. Where are you pioneering and where are you not? Ebony in the chat says, I'm pumped. What would be the best program for me? I'm new to coaching, just signed my 2nd client last week and need help with content launching and selling in the DMs. The headquarters. So the headquarters includes the Freedom Queen Netflix. And inside of Freedom Queen Netflix, we have programs on how to sell in the DMs, how to create content, and how to launch. And then what you can do is take that information and come to our live calls 2 times a month and actually get customized support inside of those live calls. So here's what I want to do next to wrap us up. What I want you to do is, first of all, does the headquarters how to host a masterclass? Yes. We have something called our $1 Million Masterclass Guide included inside of the headquarters. It's in our Freedom Queen Netflix vault. That's my entire guide on how to actually run a masterclass and challenges like this too. I'm going to drop the link one more time in the chat. I'm going to close out our Zoom. You have an hour to gain this bonus here. After you sign up, send my team a message and say, I'm in. Yes, 100%. I'm all in, ready to go. And then I'll do a big celebration with you guys. Sorry, my partner asked me and I missed it. Remind me, did we say we have any Voxer support in between the calls? So you get 2 calls per month on Zoom with me. These are group coaching calls. In between the calls, you get a community chat to be supported by other people in the mastermind. You don't have Voxer with me inside of this program at $4.99 a month. However, when you buy in the next hour, you're going to be invited to the Invite Your Sales Mini Mind, which is a week-long Voxer experience starting next week, where I'm going to be teaching on how to end this year on fire. And that's only available for the next hour. After the hour closes, what will happen is you'll have today, tomorrow, and Sunday to sign up, and then the price is going to go up to $888 a month. Okay, my Freedom Queens, go back and watch all of these trainings. Go back and listen to them over and over and over again, because we are going to take it down and put it in the headquarters. Go show up for yourself, embody the vision, lead your community, pioneer the pathway, and then we will be meeting in 2024 at Freedom Queen Live going, you just built $1 million business. I'm so excited. And before we go, I'm going to leave us with one more thing because we have to go. At Freedom Queen Live next year, 2024, the conference, when you make $1 million, you get to speak on stage. And I have so many clients that are working towards this. Speaking on stage in front of everyone at Freedom Queen Live, which is going to be insane. I will be announcing all of the awards and different things coming up that will be happening at Freedom Queen Live. I already have my outfit ready. I want you to go show up for your community, embody the vision, pioneer the pathway, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye Freedom Queen. Bye everyone. Bye.